Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Oilers Nation After Dark. Connor Halley with you here tonight. We've got a fantastic show coming up for you. Of course, we've got our producer, Gavin, the intern, along for the ride. Joining us tonight, we will have Liam. We're also going to have Zach Lang joining us to break down the Oilers' victory over the San Jose Sharks, a game that I think, for the most part, everybody probably thought would happen. The Oilers taking care of business. Matthias Janmark, a couple of goals. Leon Draisaitl, 3-point performance, and the Edmonton Oilers finishing this season with a record of 50, 23, and 9, good for 109 points. And now we watch the scoreboard. The AMA Travel out-of-town scoreboard. In fact, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, or the Vegas Golden Knights, taking on the Seattle Kraken, currently tied at 1, I believe, after 20 minutes. As long as we go here tonight, we will continually follow that game and see what happens, because if the Oilers, if the Golden Knights lose, the Oilers could finish first in the Western Conference. If the Kraken find a way to lose and Vegas wins, and the Oilers sit in that number 2 seed, taking on the LA Kings. So lots going on. We'll have the game. I got it on beside me. We'll keep you up to date on exactly what's happening in that one. Right now, though, let's just get right into it. Actually, no, I want to give a quick shout out to people on Facebook and YouTube. Mike says first. The only problem is Corey, a second before, said, "Come on, Kraken." Mike, you were second. Susan says, "Awesome game. Let's go Seattle." We've got Kyle Nelson saying, "Woo." We've got Josh asking about apps. Hey, man, we're on live right now. Maybe someone on Facebook can help you out, Josh, but right now can't help you out. Hey, I'm a company man. Okay, on the YouTube chat, Genesis, let's bring on the playoffs. Genesis has already got the questions for Liam about the banana count. We'll find out about that one, but I can't imagine it was overly stressful. I see Ewan, Snoop, Pay. I think I know that guy. Dave, Lance, JCD, Ewan. You know, we've even got Liam in the chat. Good to see you there, Liam. If I missed anyone, Gonzo, Lance, just keep on chiming in, and we'll eventually read something that you say. Graham says, "I'm labombing so hard right now." And Albert says, "What's going on?" Albert, it's a good time for the Edmonton Oilers after a nice win over the San Jose Sharks. Okay, let's get to the good, the bad, the oily, brought to you by Cornerstone Insurance. Cornerstone Insurance Brokers, Edmonton's premier boutique insurance brokerage with over 90 years of success and still growing. Visit cornerstoneins.ca/nation to get an online tenant or condo insurance quote in just a few minutes and use the discount code NATION for an exclusive rate. Find out why Cornerstone Insurance Brokers are ranked amongst the best in Alberta. For the good, the bad, the oily, we are going to bring in Liam, the man himself, tonight. Liam, first things first, thank you for doing this. Appreciate it. And how many bananas? The people want to know.
I saved the banana count for tonight, everybody. We've got a long playoff road ahead of us. I've got to prepare. I'm going to go to the grocery store this weekend, get some fresh bananas ahead of game 1 against what could be apparently one of any team in the Western Conference, it feels like at the moment. We truly have no idea who the Edmonton Oilers are going to be playing. But I will be ready. I will be ready for round 1.
Now, quickly, preference in bananas. Are you, I know some people like them on the greener side. What about you? What's the range?
Well, it's quite difficult to buy bananas right at the moment, Connor, if I had to be honest, because they're not ripe enough when I get them. So I have to buy them a few days ahead of me actually wanting the bananas. So I'll probably buy them on Friday in anticipation for Monday. So when I buy them, they'll likely be a lighter shade of green, I would assume, turning into a nice yellow. But by the time I get to the Monday, they'll be nice and yellow for me. But no, I don't like my bananas very hard. Just nice, soft, easy to digest, you know? I'm eating a lot of them. I gotta get the system nailed down.
Yeah, 100%. Let us know on the chat, Facebook, YouTube. How do you like your bananas? Okay, Liam, let's start off with the good tonight. And to be honest with you, Gavin and I, we went back and forth on this one, and there were so many options, so I'm glad that he put that up there. The season of 97. Let me flip over my game sheet here. Connor McDavid finishes the season with 64 goals, 89 assists. That totals 153 points on the season. I mean, I feel like we kind of threw that number, 150, out at the beginning of the year. And even if you said, "I believe he can do it," maybe you weren't actually that confident. But Connor McDavid, 153 points on the season. By far and away the best player in the league right now, doing things no one else can do. Even on a night when he only puts up 1 point, and I say only, still looks great out there. And you know what? I'll just throw this in there, played 15 minutes tonight. So Jay Woodcroft was monitoring his minutes in these games against the Ducks and the Sharks playing under 20. But I mean, I don't know. We're kind of running out of ways to describe just the greatness of Connor McDavid.
The perfect way I will describe the greatness of Connor McDavid this season is he was minus 250 to score a goal tonight across most sports books. So I think that just shows how great he is. His points tallies rose up to 2.5, which but I've never seen that before for any player. So you can't make any money off the guy if you're looking for an out and out bet. And it just goes to show like this guy is essentially a human cheat code on most nights where who knows what you're going to get from him. We're going from one point tonight. I feel like, again, he just had a great game, though. And every single night, he's just so consistent. It's really, you kind of run out of words, like you said, to really describe what he's had besides legendary, honestly. Like, what this guy has done, like, is something we're all going to look back at. Like, I know we're all very grateful for it right now. But the way people talked about Wayne Gretzky now, I feel like eventually that's just going to be Connor McDavid with some of the season totals he puts up. It's amazing. And we're such a lucky fan base to have him and just the team the Oilers have in general right now, too.
100%. And it's funny you bring up like the odds. I remember a couple of years ago when you could put down a couple bucks on McDavid and Draisaitl to score at least, 1.5 points, and it was paying out ridiculous. Like it was so good. And then obviously the odds makers catch on. I mean, like the fine folks at Betway 19 plus, bet responsibly, they catch on, right? They're not in the business of losing. And kind of lower those odds. But there was a month stretch there where it was a good time to throw some money down. We say this with the good comes the bad because that is part of the segment here. The good, the bad, the oily, brought to you by Cornerstone Insurance. And it's Now We Wait. 17 minutes left in the second period. Kraken, Vegas Golden Knights tied at 1 apiece. The shots 13-7 in favor of Seattle. So, I mean, waiting is the hardest part, right?
Yeah, and I mean, hey, if you're in the Facebook chat right now, we can see you directly on our screen. So if there's a goal that happens, let us know because that'll be the quickest way to update me during the show. But now we wait. But what a thrilling end to the season in general, Like I think the NHL at the start of the season thinks, all right, like we'll throw these divisional matchups in there at the end and hope it kind of works out that we get some important ones, but man, we had every single playoff matchup was on the line tonight besides Toronto and Tampa Bay. And it's 9:50 Mountain Time, and we still don't know the full Stanley Cup picture for the way it's going to play out in round one. And it's a perfect way for it all to end. It's been a fantastic season across the NHL, to be honest. Just a lot of teams have rose kind of that we didn't expect, like New Jersey in the East. And honestly, like the Boston Bruins weren't supposed to be this good. Were the Edmonton Oilers supposed to be this good? I don't know. Like I guess we have lower expectations for our own team, maybe because the punishment we've all been through with it. But great season, and I'm kind of glad it's coming down to the wire. It seems like just a fun little wrinkle to the whole adventure we've been on so far with the Edmonton Oilers.
It's been a ride. It really has been. Okay, let's get to the oily here. And the oily on this occasion, playoff time. I mean, we've waited 82 games. The Edmonton Oilers, like I said, 50 wins on the season, 23 losses, 9 overtime losses, good for 109 points. And I mean, you look at the history of this team. Twice they got up to 119. That was 84 and 86. In 1982, they got to 111. And then in 1985, 109 points. Those are the I'm giving you the last year when it's the 2 years there of a normal season. So, I mean, one of the best regular seasons for the Edmonton Oilers, considering how low this was. His fan base was on the team maybe January before they kind of kicked things off and got things going again. But just a hell of a run for this team. And now playoffs. We're 4 or 5 days away from playoffs in Edmonton, and that's the best time of year.
Yeah, it's last season when the playoffs came around. It was amazing. Like I've been fortunate enough to see a lot of sporting events, a lot of international sporting events, and I can say full-heartedly that Game 7 was the best sporting event I have ever been to, and it's because the way this city shows up for the playoffs and they support this team, and the players recognize that too. So this playoff run, let's just keep that going. You got to get oiled up. Shirts at nationgear.ca, by the way. Go do that. And then, I'm so excited for playoffs. I'm so excited for the watch parties we're going to be able to throw for the road games that are at Greta as well that got announced today. So it's just an awesome time. The weather's getting nicer too. It's a great time to be an Edmonton Oilers fan, Connor.
100%, 100%. And I mean, for the Oilers fans that have struggled through the decade of darkness, you've earned it. You stuck around. It's finally starting to pay off. And like you said, there is a lot of fun coming. Before we get to Zach, why don't we throw up the graphic there? You kind of teased it. Greta is going to be hosting Oilers watch parties for the road games. If you want to go to watch that, and there's also going to be the Nation Gear pop up. So I mean, that alone is worth getting you in there. But watching the Oilers take on whoever it might be with a ton of Oilers fans. Oilers Nation will be there. You can go to gretabar.com/book or text 587-418-8507 for your reservation. Check out Oilers Nation pretty much on any social media. You can get that number there and the website. It's going to be a blast. I've already had a few people asking me how they can get in. I just said, reserve your spot. That's the best way to do so. Okay. Let's bring in Zach Lang here from, of course, Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff, patiently waiting for us to ramble on. Zach, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, guys. I was happy to listen to you guys ramble on. You made some great points. Liam, I think I might have to join you on the banana train this year. Just thinking about it, I'm going to need a little bit of a way to relieve some stress in game myself. So I think this might be the time where I cave and join the banana brigade.
I think it's a good little train to be on, Zach. It's better than you think, and I think more people got to try it. Maybe we'll get an office pool going for the banana gang. We could be the banana boat man like LeBron.
And the thing is, Liam, is like when I get stressed, I hold it in my body, right? So I'm thinking that the bananas high in potassium, that's really good. Maybe relieve some of that lactic acid and that buildup that I feel while I'm sitting around. I think it might be time.
Yeah, I'm with you, Zach. I'm with you. We'll see you on Monday.
You know what? I'm looking forward to this. I think everyone should get on board. I mean, it's a really healthy alternative. A lot of people might be drinking and having a good time. Meanwhile, Oilers Nation just eating bananas, getting healthy, getting shredded. I like what we're doing here. We also got some people in the chat asking about your banana bread recipe, Liam, if you have one. Do you have one?
I personally don't have one, but my girlfriend does make some great banana bread with some nice walnuts in there. She puts them into a nice banana loaf, but also banana muffins. So good variety of banana flavors in my household.
Ewan says, I'm going to try to get to Greta for the watch party. We've got one here. Sean in Calgary. Is Greta good for Calgary? Do they have a Greta down in Calgary? If so, I recommend you go there and take it over. I don't know if Oilers Nation will have a watch party there, but could be the unofficial watch party.
Well,
there definitely won't be a Flames watch party there. I can tell you that much.
Last year when the Oilers were playing the Flames in the playoffs, a bunch of the guys from ON, like I think it was Bagged Milk, Jay, Tyler, and Dan, went and crashed Greta down in Calgary and held a watch party on the road. And they actually ended up packing the bar. They were pretty blown away by how successful it was. So in one sense, it's kind of unfortunate that Calgary isn't in the playoffs because it would have been cool to go back down there and take over a bar again.
I will say, sorry, before we continue off from Greta, if you do go down the Calgary Greta, make sure you let them know Oilers Nation sent you because they would very much appreciate that. Snap some pics, tag them on wherever, and that would it just help everybody out,
Heck yeah. Braden on Facebook says, I'll be at Greta Calgary. Let's go. So yeah, if you're watching this during Calgary, go to Greta for the games, take it over. As Liam said, snap some pics, tag Oilers Nation. That would be awesome to see the Oilers fans down south taking over. Zach, we went through the good, the bad, the oily. One thing we didn't get to, and I want to get your opinion on it, because I feel like it has been a topic of conversation. 21 straight penalties killed for this PK unit by the Edmonton Oilers. That streak was unfortunately snapped, but good to see the special team starting to get it going here. And I just want to bring it up so I can give the proper players credit. When you look at time on ice shorthanded, Derek Ryan was a minute and a half. Matthias Janmark, the 2-goal man, 2.5 minutes. Draisaitl, a little bit. Kyler Yamamoto, 2.5. Bukestad over 3 minutes. Nuge, 2:46. And then on the defensive side, Ekholm, 4 minutes. CC, 3 minutes. Darnell Nurse, 3 minutes. Kulak, 2 minutes. Desharnais, 3 minutes. If I said your name, pat yourself on the back because the Oilers penalty kill, outstanding as of late.
Yeah, it's really turned around from the start of the season. I'm kind of working on my day after article right now. And, just kind of looking at some of the numbers as a whole for this team, from the first half to the second half of the season. Basically up until January 10th, the Oilers had the 11th worst record in the NHL with a points percentage of .524. down the back half of the season, they had a .800 points percentage, which was the best in the league. And I think that the penalty kill played a big part of that. I really do. If we think back to the beginning of this season, that was a major a point where other teams were attacking the Oilers and really taking advantage of them. And I think they did a really good job down the second half of the season here, of really kind of shutting things down there. They kind of found their groove. They kind of found how to play in front of Stuart Skinner, right? I mean, if we remember last year when Mike Smith was in net, the whole basis of the penalty kill was to allow the puck to funnel to one side of the ice for a long shot on net that Mike Smith could swallow up. And, they kind of had to adjust this year with Stuart Skinner. And I think, down the second half of the season, they did a damn fine job of it.
JCD on YouTube saying Bouchard and Desharnais making our PK look so good. Liam, what have you seen from the special teams unit there down the stretch? The power play gets a lot of love, deservedly so, historic, but the PK getting hot at the right time.
Yeah, and I think credit to Ken Holland too for kind of addressing the needs of it, bringing in a Bouchard and Desharnais, like you said, they both played very well on the penalty kill, and just having an extra length out there probably makes a little bit of an extra difference to it. One thing I always found curious about when Jesse Puljujarvi was here is like, why doesn't he kind of get a go on the penalty kill? He's defensive forward, he's massive, and now we're kind of seeing what those defensive forwards can do with the long reach and everything. So I'd be curious to see how much that has made a difference. Clearly a little bit, but I think they said on the broadcast too, this was the best percentage they had since like game 3 of the regular season. So yeah, just a nice way to kind of kick it off going into the playoffs here and keeping it tight. So yeah, we'll see. It's a good feeling just overall with the team, but yeah, it's nice to see the actual penalty kill since they got absolutely molded by the LA Kings that one night as really figured itself out, it seems, since kind of that point onwards.
100%.
So I was just going to jump into just looking at a guy like Nick Bjugstad's numbers alone. He was only on the ice for 2 penalty kill goals against all season long. He played 32 minutes and 49 seconds, averaging about a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes a game. Those are some really solid numbers out there. I think he's a guy who, hadn't really killed a lot of penalties in the past prior to this season, looking at his numbers. And this year when he kind of came into Arizona, that was something that they asked him to do a lot of there. And, it's something he did really well. And even credit to a guy like Desharnais too, because like you said, he's got that size and he's got that length. And I think that was a big thing that, the Oilers were kind of missing on the PK, earlier on this season. And for Desharnais, he's played over 2 minutes on the penalty kill every single game since he was called up from the American League. So those two guys played a big role there.
YouTube, Babbitt says face-offs and timely saves. I totally agree with that one. If you're watching right now on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. We have 120 of you in there, so let's try to get to 97 at the bare minimum for Connor McDavid. Hit that like button. Do the same if you're on Facebook. And if you're watching on Twitter, retweet, tell a friend, spread the word. I want to get to this very quickly, just the AMA out-of-town scoreboard. Not a goal, but the Kraken on the power play. Jack Eichel took a penalty. I believe it was either tripping or slashing, just kind of caught it side-eye. So maybe the Kraken helped the Oilers out here. We shall see with this one. I know there's a lot of Jersey nerds out there. Tom Gazzola broke the news earlier tonight. The Oilers in the playoffs will be wearing the Royal Blues. They won't have the dark navy. So I don't know about you guys as far as jerseys go, but I got a couple Royal Blues back here. What's your preference when it comes to the jersey at home? We'll start with you, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Royal Blue. I mean, it's the staple, it's the classic, it's the go-to. Admittedly, I'm a bit of a sucker for the alternative jersey. I really like that deep blue with the little orange accent on it. I think it's gotten way too much hate from the fan base. This is a hill that I'm very willing and ready to die on.
Liam?
Reverse retro, anybody?
Bring back that 06 mojo.
Yeah, I think you got I think you got to go with a Royal Blue. I mean, you just made all the fans buy new jerseys, and then you were going to switch to the third jerseys for the playoffs. That didn't seem very fair if that was going to be the case. But I just think Royal Blue. That's what I think about when I think of the Edmonton Oilers, to be honest. And if this is the year they can go and go on a deep run in the Stanley Cup, it just seems right that it would come in the copper and blue as it's supposed to be, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you back when they went for the what they call it, the Orange Crush or whatever. Back, it was 2017. I hated that. Last year for the playoff run, I thought it was great. They stayed away from the orange, and this year it just has to be the royal blue. So really good to see that. Tom Gazzola, I believe, was the first one on the case when it came to that. I want to bring up something, and we'll get back to tonight's game in a second here. But Zach and Liam, you guys were telling me a little bit about something that popped up. I believe it was Frank Saravalli talking about Evan Bouchard, and I mean, playing better as of late, but the contract is something that could be a concern in this offseason.
Yeah, so basically Frank Saravalli was on Oilersnation every day yesterday, and we asked him about Evan Bouchard's contract since he's an RFA this year. It's obviously been an interesting season for Evan Bouchard, which I'm sure for most of the year, the team thought, all right, this is going in our favor. We can lock him up long-term, probably at a cheaper deal than we wanted to. But now the script has changed a little bit. The Oilers supposedly tried to sign him in the summer, and they couldn't agree to terms. Bouchard essentially bet on himself, and now it's looking like the Oilers are going to put him on a bridge deal, which when we posted the article yesterday and reading the comment section, people were not very happy about that. One thing I will say is Ken Holland would love to sign Evan Bouchard to a good long-term deal. There is no doubt in that. But sometimes the player might not want that. So I think the number Frank kind of threw out there, I believe, was $4.5 million for 2 or 3 years or something like that. So that's looking like, I would assume it would be 2. Otherwise, I would walk him straight to UFA, which they wouldn't want to do. Frank did say there's a possibility of the Oilers trading Evan Bouchard. However, I'm sure that would be after going through 100 different scenarios. And if it just wasn't working out, then that's how you come to it. But I think the chance of the Oilers actually trading Bouchard is probably less than 1%, especially with the way he's playing right now. But the chances of getting him on a long-term deal seem to be not as favorable as going on a bridge deal. And I think one thing to consider too is by the time that bridge deal is done, which should be 2 years from now, hypothetically, Matthias Ekholm's $6 million is off the books. So that opens up a little bit. Then you also open up the money from Bouchard. So there's kind of your $7-8 million you want to play with. The cap's going to be a lot higher by that point too, you would assume. I've not looked into all the contracts, but it's not that bad. People are making it seem like this will be the end of the world if Evan Bouchard doesn't sign a 7-8 year deal, whatever. But the money will be there in 2 years for the Oilers to sign Bouchard if it should work out that way, I guess is what I'm saying. Right, Zach?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that there's a little bit of PTSD for Oilers fans right now, taking a look at what's transpired with Darnell Nurse and, the realization that bridging Darnell Nurse was not the right play whatsoever a number of years ago. Like you said, Liam, it takes 2 to tango. And if Evan Bouchard doesn't want to sign a long-term deal right now, then he's not going to sign a long-term deal right now. That being said, if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, I still think that trying to lock him up long-term is absolutely the play here right now. You try and sign him to a 7 or an 8 year deal. Is he willing to take $6 million? Maybe you have to pay him 7. Would it require some work around the edges? Absolutely. You'd probably have to move a guy like Cody Ceci, $3.25 million. Probably have to move a guy like Kyler Yamamoto or Warren Fogle, 3.1, $2.75 million. The nice thing for the Oilers is that they have guys in the American League that could kind of come up and fill those spots. Philip Broberg, he's ready to play a full-time role in the NHL next season. The Oilers have to find a spot for him. So there's a good chance that somebody's moved off of this blue line this year or this summer coming up, not only to free up cap space, but to free up a roster spot as well, right? So it's going to be interesting to see. And then in the forward group, Dylan Holloway, Liam, I know you've been working on something about him and his game right now, but he's a guy playing in the American League who shouldn't be playing in the American League right now. He's very much NHL ready. So same sort of a thing there. You always have to find a spot for him next year.
Vegas took a power play or got a power play, and then 16 seconds in took a penalty. The Kraken on a 2-on-1 almost scored, very close. So 4-on-4 in that one. Just kind of side-eyeing that as we go here. And thank you to everyone on Facebook, YouTube for keeping us updated as we go on here. We do appreciate it. Hit that like button while you're at it. We're up to about 150 people, so we do appreciate that one. Electric Jordan says Connor's not listening at all, watching the Seattle game. I'm listening. I'm multitasking here. I'm just kind of side-eyeing on the TV over there. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to Evan Bouchard, I think the crucial point, and you both touched on it, it takes two to tango. And if Evan Bouchard doesn't want to sign a long-term deal, then, the Oilers are kind of forced into doing it. They got to find that price point. I'm sure Bouchard wants financial security and getting a long-term deal, but we've seen it from everyone, Darnell Nurse being the latest example. Bet on yourself, and it can pay off quite handsomely. It did for Darnell Nurse. Okay, guys, tonight between the pipes, Stuart Skinner, 27 saves on 29 shots. I'll say this, and I'll ask this question to everyone out there on YouTube and Facebook. Out of 10, what is your confidence level with the Oilers goaltending going into the playoffs? Liam, start with you.
As the tandem or Skinner?
That's the real question.
Let's go Skinner, assuming everything,
I am a 10 with Skinner. I'm a 9 with the tandem, to be honest. If we get to a point where Jack Campbell is playing games for this team in the playoffs, and it's because Skinner's been playing bad, I guess, then we are in a sticky situation where we're not expected to be. So I am fully confident in Stuart Skinner. He has been there all season for this team. Very reliable. Even in his slumps, he's been pretty solid, to be honest. So I'm more than pleased with what Skinner will be able to bring to the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs. Vegas
Zach,
scored.
what do you got?
God damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that sucks. I have the utmost confidence in Stuart Skinner. I mean, this guy has come in as a rookie this year and blown the doors off. He should be the Calder Trophy winner this year. I think he's had the best rookie season of any player. No discredit to what Matty Beniers did. I think he had a great season. But at the end of the day, I think Stuart Skinner was a much more valuable rookie player than that of Matty Beniers. And I think Beniers struggled driving play offensively this year. As much as his numbers did look solid, I think the underlying numbers paint a little bit of a different picture there. That's a Seattle team as a whole, I suppose, that doesn't really generate or drive a lot of offensive play, relying on their defense instead. But yeah, Skinner, I'm really impressed with him this season. I think he's going to be great in the playoffs, and knock on wood, just, worst case Ontario, if Jack Campbell comes in, I would have some confidence in him too, because, I think he was playing good down the stretch, and I think he's feeling good about his game. Last year we also saw the Oilers ramp up their play as a whole in the playoffs. So I'm pretty comfortable with either one of them, should either have to play.
Graham on Facebook's liked your question there, Liam. The tandem or Skinner? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, ideally Skinner. Dave says 9 to 10. Carla, the scale was 1 to 10. She went 100. Dell along those same lines says 20 out of 10. Christian and Corey both have 9. Who was it? JCD had 8.3. That's kind of where I am. I still want to see Stuart Skinner do it, but I mean, there's no reason for me to think that he couldn't. He's just risen his game every opportunity. Mike D says 11. Rusty, the Reckless Optimist, 10 out of 10. Darian says 9 out of 10. Shan 3. FPS says 10. And that's when Vegas scored. And we just got a whole bunch of people telling us in the chat that Vegas scored. So, yeah, thank you for the updates. We do appreciate it.
There's one other thing with Skinner, which is something to consider in some capacity. He's a winner. Like, this guy, almost everywhere he's gone, has won something. From the minor hockey level, he won in that COVID year with Bakersfield as well, their division title or whatever that kind of thing was. I can't remember. He won at junior with Swift Current. Like, he's been in these big moments before, and I know it's a little bit different with the vibes around it and everything. But at the end of the day, it's still hockey. It's still the game of hockey, and he's been in that situation. He knows how to get ready. So I think that's one of the things, like one of the little wrinkle. It's not going to be the big talking point for him, but something I'm sure in his head is kind of common for him in a way too.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess that for me, we've seen him do it. We've more importantly, we've seen that he hasn't, choked. He hasn't ever shown that the moment is too big for him. We should say 29 wins on the season. That passes Grant Fuhr's rookie record for wins by a rookie goaltender. So congratulations to Stuart Skinner. Guy's got it going on right now. Congratulations to Cody Ceci and his wife and family on the birth of their child. He picked up an assist tonight, so shout out to them. That's really cool news. I don't know, Gavin, maybe we can bring up the graphic for the playoff gear for 2023. Available at nationgear.ca. Of course, we talked about the watch party at Greta. There's going to be a pop-up shop. So for anyone who wants to buy some gear, that's going to be really easy. Okay, we don't have the graphic for the gear, but just trust me. I'm going to get Gavin and Zach to back me up. Whether it's the nude shirt, the playoff shirts, dry style, it's all really nice, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, Gavin, we could experiment with the shared screen feature that we were trying earlier on today. It might be quicker to get the graphic there, but yes, the gear is fantastic. I don't have a playoff one on right now, but I got a nice little Oilers Nation sweater. You can never go wrong with the Nation gear. Very, very comfortable.
Uremchik actually texted me today and said there's a shirt waiting for me. So
Nice.
I might have to come in and pick that one up. Maybe check out the bakery, that whole area. It's really nice down there. So definitely something to look into. I just want to throw this one out here. And because it was on the topic of people were saying, load management, what do you do? For the forwards tonight, the most played forward was Ryan McLeod, 18 minutes, 3 seconds. The fewest amount of minutes played was Clem Costin at 12:42. So they're all kind of right in that range, which is great to see. And for McLeod, probably no surprise because after the injury, you got to get him back out there. On the blue line, Darnell Nurse, surprise, led the way at 21:11. Desharnais with the least at 17:46. So 6 minutes apart in the forwards from the most to the least. On the blue line, only 4 minutes. Zach, I think that there might have been a little bit of an emphasis on letting the superstars sit on the bench a little bit.
Yeah, and rightly so. I mean, they have played a lot of hockey this season and done a very good job doing so. I have no problem with them, playing a little less minutes. I'm not a fan, really, of them sitting games the way that the Toronto Maple Leafs, sat some of their stars down the stretch. And I get it. There was some extenuating circumstances. They had a late game against Tampa Bay that we saw kind of get a little bit ugly in certain situations. So it was probably, a little bit of like, yeah, you guys earned a night off, but also probably a little bit of like, hey, we're just going to kind of, keep you guys healthy for game one of the playoffs here, right? And, for the Oilers, they didn't really have to worry about that at all. So, pretty content and pretty happy with the way that the minutes got split up here down the stretch.
Something we should probably throw out there. I mean, the Edmonton Oilers this season, when it comes to most regulation wins, Boston obviously led the way at 54, probably no surprise, but the Oilers at 45 were second. And, there's some teams that thrive off the Bettman point, a team down in Calgary being one of them. But for the Edmonton Oilers, second in the league in regulation wins, not too bad, Liam.
Yeah, I mean, considering their overtime record, I guess they had to get it done in regulation, all things considered. But yeah, it's good to just know that they're able to win games when, within the 60 minutes. Like Connor McDavid said, I can't remember, it must have been after the Tampa Bay game or something like that. He said winning is a skill and they need to figure out how to do it. Maybe it was the Boston game. And I think this team has very much figured out how to win a hockey game. So yeah, hopefully when the playoffs come around and we're heading home after 60 minutes, not into overtime. Otherwise I'll have to stock up on more bananas throughout.
Gavin's got the shirt. So let's just pop that bad boy up on the screen here. For those who are considering making that purchase, nationgear.ca, get ready to oil up. And if you want to check out the rest of the gear on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at Nation Gear. Yeah, I mean, I think you should make that purchase, everyone. Go out there and do it. And like I said, if you want to come down to Greta for the road playoff games, watch the Oilers with all the Oilers Nation crew, all the citizens. There's the pop-up shop, so maybe you can make a couple purchases there. An easy way also, if you want to grab some Oilers Nation stickers, just head to any Oodle Noodle location in the city, giving away free Oilers Nation stickers to fans. Like we said, grab some noodles, get some stickers, throw it on your car, let everyone know that you are a citizen, and my goodness, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's car flake season right now. I see a lot of Oilers gear, just people walking around proud. The best time. I want to bring in Gavin here because Gavin and I were chatting as the game went on. Gavin, good evening. How you doing?
Good. Loving it. Ready for playoff time?
Oh, it's going to be absolutely awesome. Now, do you want to bring up the statistic you told me? I tweeted it. I stole your thunder, but I gave you credit because it was your stat. But when it comes to the Oilers forwards, depth is there.
Yes. Well, every forward in the Edmonton Oilers lineup today now has double-digit goals with the game Matthias Janmark had scoring 2. Now every Oilers forward that was in the lineup today has double-digit goals. So that alone shows the depth that we have this season. And going into the playoffs, we all know that's huge.
Yeah, and if Devin Shore got the opportunity to play more, he'd have double-digit goals.
Yes, he would be there.
He'd be there. We know that, especially since he's wearing 19. Bukestad, I think, has 4 with the Oilers, but had 13, give or take, with the Coyotes. So, putting up those massive numbers. Zach, when was the last time you saw depth like this with this Oilers team? Do you remember?
2005, 2006. I mean, really, let's be real here. This team has struggled to build around its star players or its best players for a very, 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 very long time. 05, 06, they had a good team. They had a deep team. Michael Pekka was playing on the third line. That was a really strong team depth-wise there. To see the way the Oilers have been able to build this group up over time and, the way players have kind of come into their own as well this season, right? Kyler Yamamoto, he was so banged up throughout this season. He's really turned his game on as of late. Look at a guy like Warren Fogle and how important he's become to this Edmonton Oilers team, playing in a third line role as well, right? He's another guy who, second half of the season started to really turn his game on. Derek Ryan was playing better. Matthias Janmark's game improved too. It was a real collective effort from this group of bottom 6 players for the Oilers. They got the group, they got the guys to go on a real run this year.
Kraken on the power play now. 2 minutes left in the second period. Vegas leading 2-1. That's our AMA travel out of town scoreboard. Let's face it, that's the game that matters. So we're just going to talk about that one. Zach, I like that reference to 2005, 2006. That was, you guys were all young, but I just turned 18 and I was able to go have a lot of fun. I was not at White Ave, not really my scene, but a lot of fun with the friends and watching all those games in the summer. Good times. I'm going to throw this around the chain here, and we'll start off. We'll go down to Liam below me here. Who do you think is most likely to go on a Fernando Pisani type playoff run this year?
I'm going to say Yamamoto. I feel like he's got it in him, just the way he plays. Just a couple go off his backside or something like that, and he'll just keep the good times rolling. But Yama would be my pick. Maybe that's a bit cheap because he plays in the top 6, but I don't know. I feel like he's a bit of an unsung hero on some nights.
Zach, what do you got?
I'm going to go with actually Warren Fogle. This is a guy we saw earlier in the season, go on a bit of a run in his ability to put the puck in the net and produce some points. There's no better time than now for a guy like him to heat back up here. It should be really interesting to see what happens.
Gavin, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to kind of go a different route. Both of you guys went forwards. I'm going to go Evan Bouchard. The fact that he stepped in since the departure of Tyson Barrie has been it's been a difference maker for sure. Like now he has confidence in his game. He's controlling that power play for us. And he's finding the back of the net now too on a more consistent basis, finding the point shoot as well. So I think Evan Bouchard can easily bring that into the playoffs and be a top guy for us going forward.
I'm going to go with Ryan McLeod. Getting healthy, guy can fly out there at times, show some offensive touch. So I'll take Ryan McLeod to chip in with a few big goals in the Oilers' upcoming playoff run. Okay, we're going to go reverse order here. Who's going to grow the worst playoff beard? Because I think there's a couple of nominees on this team that might struggle with it. Gavin, who do you got?
Well, I'll probably say Nuge, but I can't really chirp much. I can't grow a lot myself. So I'll probably go with Nuge just for the fact that I don't really see him growing a lot of facial hair.
Are you going to grow one? Playoff beard?
I think this is all you're going to get. Honestly, I can't really go more than this. Sorry.
Okay, we got to go to the man with the best beard here. Zach, your expert opinion. Who is going to grow the worst playoff beard?
Well, I mean, I think saying Nuge is almost like cheating, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it was an easy answer for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to kind of go a little out of the box, and I'm actually going to go with Connor McDavid. I think he's going to grow the worst playoff beard next to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. That is, he seems like a guy who's got a little bit of patchy facial hair. He's certainly a little bit of a ways away from Matthias Ekholm. That's right.
We talked about this last time. You're just going to keep the beard going, Zach.
Yeah. You know what? It's pretty long right now. You can't really see it right now, but it's all the way down to right about here right now. So I'm actually due for a bit of a trim. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'll go get like a pre-playoff trim. I'll crop it up nice and tight and looking sharp, and then let her go for a month or two.
All right, Liam, are you growing one? And who will grow the worst on the Oilers?
I'll grow one. I may as well. It won't be good, but whatever. The worst one. I've been trying to think. Like, I just can't picture any of these guys with facial hair at all. I don't remember anyone who grew it last year. So I'm trying to think of players who it would just really look bad on. Maybe can Ryan McLeod grow a beard? I feel like with his teeth, that might just look really weird in the way his
And
hair
I think
is and
I think
everything.
Cossins will be something too.
Oh yeah, Costin's a good one. I'll go with Bukestad. Oh no, he can probably grow one. He's massive.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
grown
boy.
after that.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
6'6"
he's a
man
big
out. I
boy.
sure hope so.
Honestly, Yamamoto. Can you imagine that man with any kind of
There
beard?
we
That would
go.
be brutal. I'll go with Yamamoto.
I was
thinking
just
best
gonna
beard.
throw him in there as like a late honorable mention. That's a good call, Liam. I like that one.
Yamo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna go based on like the youth here and say Philip Broberg. I don't know, maybe he'll grow one, but he might be blonde, so it might be tough to see. Yaramchuk taking some shots here in the chat. People saying he'll grow the worst playoff beard.
Oh God.
Um,
And Kira Pro's asking what my facial hair would look like. Yeah, you got it right here. This is it. This is where you're gonna get, man. Sorry, I
you
got
know
nothing.
You got the jawline. Why would you grow a
Yeah.
beard to cover that up? Like that.
Yeah, I guess.
You were not meant to have a beard. You were meant to showcase that. So now Genesis is just asking, and I'll let you guys answer this very quickly. Worst beard at Oilers Nation? Is it Gavin? Is it Yaremchuk? Is there someone else?
Bag Milk gets a pretty patchy beard going when he kind of lets it grow a little bit too long.
Mine would be brutal. Mine would be bad. It's hard to include Tyler because he just can't. So, does what was as kind of a little scuffle, right?
You can get a little scuffle going, that's for sure.
Yeah, the was wouldn't be too bad. Gavin can't do it. Maybe
How about Cam? He can grow a big one, eh?
I was gonna say Aaron. I think Aaron's might not be great.
Yeah, he has the moosey though, so maybe the beard will look pretty damn nice. So
it does have that. I kind of forget what people look like.
He has a stew stash.
Yeah, I'll just go with me.
Safe one. Oh, Flames Nation jumps in here. Oilers suck.
Well,
wait, should you guys be on the golf
come on,
course
man.
right now?
Yeah. Because I know the ranch in Edmonton opens up on April 15th, so I know my friend works. I can call for a booking for you.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, beautiful drive up to the city and come on up, Flames Nation. They'll watch the game, hang out at Greta, and maybe fix them with a new sweater or something at the pop-up shop.
Oh, the chat's already letting them hear it, so yeah.
How was your golf game? Yeah, Gonzo says this isn't a safe place for you. Yeah.
Classic.
Let me just look here on Facebook before we wrap up. Calvin says, what happened to the Flames? LOL. Alicia, hoping Nurse wasn't injured from that hit. We all hope that. Dell says, miss Cassian's beard. Yeah, he had the chops going. Maybe someone else will do something with that. It's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. I'm really looking forward to it. We'll enjoy the weekend off, and then whether the game's Monday or Tuesday, we will be back with Oilers Nation After Dark, recapping it throughout the whole entirety of the playoffs. Hopefully it's going to be a really nice long run. Okay, I don't know. Do you guys want to do predictions for Betway? 19 plus, bet responsibly. I guess we could do the first goal scorer or something like that. If you guys
do
want
that, or like how many games round one will last to.
4.
All right, well, let's do it. Liam, how many games does round one last? And who's getting the Oilers' first goal?
First goal, I'll stick with my guns. I'll just go Yamo. We'll go with Yamamoto for first goal. It's hard to say. I think I could see it going 6. I'll say 6, but Oilers will never not have the lead in this series. How about that?
Okay.
That's spicy. I
it.
like that.
What do you got, Zach?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 6 games as well. I think that's a fair number. I don't think the Oilers are gonna be able to win every single playoff game en route to the Stanley Cup this year. I think 6 games is a good number. First goal scorer, gonna go with the Nuge, man. The year of the Nuge, right? He's had 100 points this year, setting career highs in goals, assists, and points. It's gonna keep rolling right into the playoffs.
Okay.
Gavin?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 5 games in round one, and then I'm gonna go the electric playoff man from last year himself, Evander Kane, getting the first goal with the 7 last year. Nothing beat that, man. So I'm going to go Evander Kane, first goal in the playoffs for us.
Okay, well, I'll take 6 games, and I'll take, just because no one else has, Connor McDavid. I think it's another chance for him to make a statement.
I think that's a safe one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Well, the odds aren't there, right? Right, Liam. Probably not going to make too much money if you throw down some money at Betway with that, but
yeah, maybe
it might
not.
be the safest one.
Just speaking of McDavid, I forgot about this until this point, but how about that 5-minute major that was called and then called back in the game? I saw it and I thought, man, if that is a 5-minute major, then we are in some serious trouble going into the playoffs because that was a brutal call. But it's good that they can go out there and review it at least and get the right and correct call done. But it just made me think of McDavid's hit on Mikey Anderson, and I thought that was just as bad. McDavid's hit was significantly worse than what that guy did. So at least they got it sorted out.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I saw some hypocrisy on Twitter. A lot of Oilers fans, that's 2 minutes, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you guys were upset about McDavid getting, or the double standard there. What did you think, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it's a penalty for sure, right? And I think above all else, the good news is that Darnay was okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
He went on to play 17:46 tonight. Looked a little shaken up afterwards. Went down the tunnel, got looked at. I think above all else, I'm just thankful everybody's healthy going into the playoffs, for God's sake. I mean, really, like, I don't know what more you can ask for right now, right? Especially when you look at a team like Colorado, right? We saw them, a couple of times here late in the season, and their team is really banged up right now. It got announced earlier today that Gabriel Landeskog, who's already missed the entirety of the regular season, won't be available for the playoffs at all. So that's another big knock there for them. Definitely going to be a story to watch.
100%. Okay, well, I think we'll probably wrap this one up. Probably just give the thanks to the sponsors, as we like to do. You need insurance, check out Cornerstone Insurance Brokers. Make sure to use, discount code NATION, cornerstoneins.ca/nation. They'll help you out there. We mentioned Oilers Nation stickers. If you want to go to Oodle Noodle for lunch tomorrow, celebrate, pick up a sticker. Nation playoff gear at nationgear.ca, and then there's the party. It's going to be at Greta for every road game. Get a chance to meet up with some of the people here on the chat, probably meet the people in here right now. Maybe we'll find a way to do a show live from Greta. I don't know if that's possible, but we'll look into it and try to make it happen. And AMA travel. If you're going to plan that vacation, maybe it's Winnipeg. You're going to need help getting out to Winnipeg. AMA travel could help you out with that one, find you the best bus route, and it would be the most efficient way to get there. Maybe it's LA. Maybe it's Seattle. I don't know. I mean, it could go different ways right now. So make sure you check out AMA Travel. I think I got them all, guys. This was a lot of fun tonight. Thank you all for hopping in tonight.
Yeah, this was a good one. Good way to wrap up the regular season. But yes, if you are looking to go to Winnipeg potentially, if you others win the division, then I believe the fastest route is Fargo. Is that right, Zach? And then you bus up.
Yeah, Fargo and then a bus up. You can also go into Brandon, but you actually have to take a taxi from Brandon. Far from an ideal situation.
Yeah.
But AMA will figure it out, though.
Brandon.
But AMA will get you there. That's what's important.
They would.
Maybe you need to rent a car. They'll help you find a way.
There's a variety of options. You just can't fly.
You just can't fly. It's embarrassing, really. Goddamn. Winnipeg. Okay, let's wrap it up. Everyone who tuned in tonight, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. If you're on YouTube and Facebook, hit that like button. On Twitter, you can hit the like button as well. Make sure you subscribe to Oilers Nation across all the platforms. The content team does an amazing job of keeping the fresh content coming. So check them out. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Did I say Facebook? Yeah, I think we got them all there. Check them out everywhere. We will be back next week, Monday, Tuesday, and it's going to be a lot of fun because this chat will be going crazy with happiness or people will be freaking out. It's going to go one of two ways. It's going to be awesome. Thank you guys all for tuning in tonight on behalf of Liam, Zach, and Gavin. I'm Connor Halley. We'll talk to you guys on the next edition of Oilers Nation After Dark.